recognized and awarded. It's really heartening to see that. Entrepreneurship. I have 5 ideas that I would like to share with you today. The first is where we talk about entrepreneurship and its philosophy. So an entrepreneurship which is aimed only at revenue generation or at job creation without a deep-rooted philosophy may be helpful to you, may be helpful to your family, may be helpful to your social group which you belong to. But you dig in deeper. The entrepreneurship, if it's at fundamental level and has deep roots, it can not only impact yourself, your family, your immediate social group, it can impact the entire society at large. I was on a jury recently to evaluate 40 under 40 for Business World, and there were 180 entrepreneurs from all over the country who participated in it, and 40 were to be recognized. Never easy, because everybody has their own idea of innovation, and not all of them become successful very quickly. A lot of people take a lot of time to be successful. Now, when I was evaluating it, and I was looking at what is fundamental, all innovations or all application of entrepreneurship were at application level, using a technology which has been created by somebody else, either for the purpose of, doing a particular business, making a business easier, making a service easier, making a product, let's say, even face creams and moisturizers and whatnot. So everything was being brought up and being put up as an innovation. Really what caught my attention was 2 people from Bihar who had generated a business in like 4 to 5 years, and they were dealing with the solar cells and creating a lot of innovations around improving solar, and they had a business which was already about 1700 crores, 1600 crores worth of business. And there were a lot of others who had created a lot of pomp and a lot of visibility for them, but may not have been anywhere close to these people. When I asked them that, what is the support you got from government or local administration? And like Sirsa ji in the morning was saying, most of it was negative rather than being positive. So these are struggles which each entrepreneur anyway has to do. But the philosophy that they were carrying was very simple. They were not after the money. They were not after helping themselves. They were both engineers from very good colleges. But their idea was that their villages were really having big electricity problem. It started from there, and one after the other they kept on adding villages after villages after villages, and they in a way liberalized the idea of making it a social concept rather than a financial concept. So I think it was a significant, and with we have presence from Power Finance Corporation also, so they know, he knows, Saurav, who delivered a very pertinent set of ideas, and even before him, Dr. Batra and Dr. Rashmi Singh, both of them had significant ideas in terms of how entrepreneurship is changing the course. I come from the space of technology. 20 years back, I was a researcher at IIM Amitabh, and I was put on to a government-appointed committee, which was to evaluate the dealer commission, for HSD and MS, motor spirits and high-speed diesel, petrol and diesel basically, as to what should be the dealers getting, and it had high interest from every lobby. Everybody had significant interest in it. As a young researcher, I got opportunity to interact with the chairmen and executive directors of lot of, all the four big OMCs which were there: Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum, and also IBP at that point in time. When I was interacting with them, a lot of ideas came, in terms of how to automate this entire process. But the system was not ready to accept automation at that point in time. When I said that, why do you need to have a committee every year? There could be a program which could automatically read what are the changing trends, work on it, and make a recommendation which is scientific. But everything else, would exist other than science in such a discussion which will be there. So, but having said that, all these, CMDs and their executive directors were very encouraging of the idea at least. And that set me thinking that why not develop an organization which can take forward the idea of true data science and take that philosophy forward. So I, along with some other colleagues, I set up a corporation called KiE Corporation in US, Singapore. We kept working and doing analytics and data science. When we started, it was statistics, by the way, and analytics. And most recently, as you would have seen, it has become artificial intelligence. AI or ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning. So there is some technology interference already. Yeah. So on the way it became artificial intelligence and machine learning. So we started there, but we cannot end there. Reason? You would have heard of a term called pivoting. Pivoting means that you start on one axis and you move on to the next axis, and the moment the world has settled to the next axis, by that time you have already moved to the third axis. So in entrepreneurship, a very critical aspect is to keep reading what is the market need, the market demand. And through that pivoting, you keep moving to the next level. So we started with statistical and analytical consulting. On the way, we recognized that, that's not enough. The world is going towards data engineering, great visualization. So we pivoted to add those services which we never imagined as data scientists that this will be of any use. So we added data engineering, we added visualization. Lately, in the last few years, you would have heard a lot of this buzzword called artificial intelligence, AI, ML coming in, which is actually leading a lot of innovations as of today. So there's a little story here. While we pivoted also to AI and developed products and made them, and we launched another two corporations actually we launched. One we launched which is known as KiE, and it is a product-oriented AI for e-commerce and making sure that the platforms and the marketplaces which are available for doing sales are of the highest quality, the right market intelligence gets developed and emanated from there. The third one, of course, is altogether a different area. The genesis of it I will talk about. It's a foundation that we have set, which will be a technology-driven foundation. It's called KiE Foundation, and it's been driven by my wife, Ina. She is here. If you look at the first 20 years, as technology providers, as IT services corporations, we did ERP implementations. ERP was developed by somebody else. We came and set up those systems. Then a new innovation happened. CRM came. We said, fantastic. We will do more implementations. We will do CRM implementations. After that came databases. Now that you can store data in a very nice way. So you started building data warehouses, which later became data lakes. You said data lakes? Fantastic. We will do data lake implementation. After that came machine learning and data science. You said, fantastic, more dollars come by doing this service. So we started doing data science implementations. But remember the fact, we were in the service mindset. We kept working on the innovations which were coming from outside. We kept implementing those. Finally came AI. You said, fantastic, another thing to implement. And when we started implementing artificial intelligence as IT sector, you know what happened? AI started replacing. you thought it's a great opportunity that we would be able to take forward, and with AI we would be able to do many more implementations, which are happening, of course. But in the end, what happened is that you started replacing a lot of logical jobs, so logic-driven jobs. You may think that medicine is all safe because of the quarters it belongs, or law is in its own safe quarters. But the fact is that any logic-driven work has definite AI support to begin with. It has an AI substitutability possibility also. So the innovations that we are seeing from the West shall not always be adopted as it is. As entrepreneurs, we have to think little fundamental and figure out ways to make our innovations more intrinsic. One last example here I will give you. One of the IT companies set up 7 centers of excellence. 7 centers of excellence. Very large corporation. 7 centers of excellence. They put some budget, they put some people, they gave them, okay, do something over the next 2 years. We have to show to the next bosses and to the board that we are doing some, long-term development. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. One center closed after 2 years, another closed after 3 years, and another closed after 4 years. Nothing fundamental happened. And one after the other, we were not able to develop anything which was meaningful. What does that mean? It basically means that we did not give long enough lease, we did not give enough funds for those centers of excellence to progress and deliver results which could be building on itself. We did not come out with any fundamental technology, and as a service sector, and IT has become a service sector, whereas it could have been a far more fundamental technology development sector. So in the name of technology, in fact, we have to go and look at the government. Government has done a much better work. Whether it is DRDO or it is HAL, they have developed more fundamental things which we are able to commercialize. But our own IT sector has lagged behind, even having best of brains. The focus has been misplaced, the funds have been misplaced. So all I would say is that a lot of introspection is required. There's nothing wrong, earning money. There's nothing wrong servicing, but there has to be some more fundamental cause that we stand for. Government has the best examples, it has got the best work, I would say. If you align with the government, you could do so many things which are, significant, whether it is, on the semiconductor, because now everything is not asset or a chip. There are a lot of services which are linked to each of the, product or asset which is deployed. So treat a semiconductor as an asset, and there are so much plethora of things which can be built around that. Best brains you have, best incentives are there with the government. But remember that social entrepreneurship has to also coexist along with this technological entrepreneurship. And okay, we need to wrap up. So I'll wrap up on a note, which is, close to my home, we all have families. We all have seniors to take care. There was a situation where we had to take a decision. There was a very old person in our house, who's my paternal aunt, you could say. Okay. And she had mental degradation which had happened over a period of time. She was already 80 plus. And it was very difficult to take care of her. Very difficult, and my mother was supporting it. We were also supporting it, but never easy. So there comes a point, and if you look at the US, they are already quite progressed with respect to it. They have got old age homes which support this concept in a very significant way, and they make it easy for the society to be able to adopt such a need, which is a real need. And it came to it that we had to take a decision whether we send her to a care home which is more capable than our own houses, or we provide her all the provisions in our own house or give her an independent space in which she could thrive properly and have an extended life, happy life. So after all considerations, being from the Indian thought process, our hearts didn't allow to set up or send her to an old age home separate where she would have to fend it for herself by herself. We provided for a mechanism in which she could stay and be comfortable in her own setting, in her own way. Even if it means a bleed for you, it doesn't matter, you are able to contribute. That's a social contribution. And my wife, Ina, she stood up that, we will build a architecture around it. And it's not only for her. We will go extend this to as many senior citizens as possible, to as many people who are disabled as possible, and make it a phenomena of a kind in which the help and support which the seniors need. So, social entrepreneurship and women entrepreneurship, they have different heart, soul and mind. I think wherever they are, we need to recognize that, respect that. There are a lot of women entrepreneurs here. Our salutes to you, our salute to all of you. And Ina, can you just wave your hand and say that, you have been playing some role there, and I wish you all the best in your endeavor to your foundation. Thank you so much. Sorry for taking this. Thank you so much.
Next, can we please have Mr. Nitish to felicitate Dr. Kamaljit Anand with a memento?